Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond. I am Lisa Richmond, and this is Thoughtful Thursday. I am burning some Palo Santo. If this is a Palo Santo stick, if you do not know about Palo Santo, this is for you. So some people burn sage, cedar, sweetgrass, um, different forms of incense. I love Palo Santo sticks. So like you light it and it just smokes. It's not like on fire, you blow it out. And for me, this is like such a beautiful way to clear energy and clear energetic space. I clear myself every single morning and night with my Palo Santo sticks. So you can go to any metaphysical store and buy some. They last a long time actually because it doesn't just like burn like incense like that. It's like pretty dense and it smells so good. And the healing and clearing properties of Palo Santo is unbelievable. So you'd use it as um like a clearing technique. Okay. So I clear myself. I just say I cleared any energies that don't belong to me, that do not reside within my highest timeline, my highest frequency. I remove any energies that don't belong to me, any energies of lower density or frequencies that aren't in alignment with myself or my space. I clear the space from corner to corner, from room to room, removing any energies of a lower vibration or an energy that is out of alignment with my own and that of my family. And I bring in the highest consciousness, the highest vibration in order to fill our hearts and maintain the level of frequency to bring us into our heart space. Then always, thank you, Spirit, thank you, guides, for helping me. And then quite often I'll see like a guide or a spirit that's here that's helping me, remove any energies. Really good to do because energetically, I generally leave my body and do work overnight, come back in, and then I kind of like adjust into my human self. So I'm like clearing my energetic frequency. Any energies that anybody's brought in, and throughout the day, obviously, I mean, my kids are moving around. My daughter's in grade 11. She's out with her friends. Like people are coming and going all the time. And because I'm so connected to energy, it I don't want to say affects me, but yeah, like affects me greatly and my family. And I know that everybody appreciates it, even if some people won't admit it. That's okay. Okay, well, that's actually not what I was going to talk about today, but that was an extra little tidbit. A little like if you're looking to clear your space, that's a great way to do it. Palo Santo sticks. So, actually, what I want to talk about today is our um, understanding of timeline merging. Okay, story time. I did a TikTok. I don't know if any of you are on TikTok, but I'm on TikTok and I don't love posting all the time. You're supposed to with algorithms and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, when I have a message come through, then I usually record it, throw it on TikTok, and it does what it does. So a couple weeks ago, I had this message come through about converging timelines and how we are like bringing fragmented aspects and parts of self from other timelines. We are converging them, like we're bringing them into one, into wholeness, and integrating them into ourselves in order to go into this higher timeline. So, like, we're moving into this higher frequency timeline, we're moving into the fifth dimensional frequency. Okay. And big time since the eclipse at the end of March. And with that, we've been like hit into timelines that are in the fifth dimensional frequency. But what had happened before, if you're familiar with like quantum leaping and like alternate timelines, a very brief, easily understandable explanation to this, or like, yeah, is think about like if we're going to do something and then we don't do it, it's almost like we have the timeline of us doing it and of us not doing it. And sometimes those timelines go for a long time and sometimes they're like brief. Okay. So let's just take that simplistic explanation and then think of like all the kind of infinite possibilities that go down on a day-to-day basis because we do not live in a linear timeline. Okay. But what has happened with humanity's evolution here on Earth and in our like human form, in our like multiple faceted timelines or like multiple faceted realities where everything is kind of happening simultaneously, what is happening is that major parts, major timelines that we've been on in our life that we've chosen to go. So like when I was able to kind of be extracted and see from the outside perspective like different timelines, I had one where I didn't move back to BC and I stayed in Saskatchewan way back. And then me being in Saskatchewan again has like kind of triggered that. And so that I've had to figure out why I have lived almost like multiple different frequencies or realities with being here, because it was almost like I was going through and experiencing while converging these timelines. But in one, I was a very different person that made very different choices and lived very differently than I do now. And so all of a sudden I'd have days where I'd be like full disclosure, I used to drink and I used to party a bit. And like I would have days where I'm like, I feel like that person again. Like I feel like I'm like out of the eyes of that person. It was so strange. And then I would judge myself. And then once I figured out what was happening, I was like, oh. But this is what's happening on a large scale right now, is that major timelines that we needed to experience, because let's say we had to experience the closing out of some kind of life lesson, okay, but we don't give that life lesson our attention, which brings it into reality of our like current attention, because we're ascending in a different aspect of self timeline will go off and live that existent and live that timeline so that it can, that aspect of our soul can evolve and grow with that experience. Okay, so right now what's happening is that we are converging timelines, and it's almost like these timelines, if you picture it as like ropes or strings, they're kind of like rolling into one another, and they're coming in and they're converging into one whole. And it's not like we digest one into the other easily. And it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm perfect with all my life experiences. No, it's like, oh my gosh, like I have a massive pain, or like my digestive issues are here, or I'm like deeply affected by this relationship that I haven't thought about in 20 years. It's because those aspects of self are just converging into one. And so we are integrating multiple timelines into one. And so you're not going crazy. There are so many things that are happening. And sometimes we're playing it out in dream state so that those things can get played out and we can like process them. And then some things it's a little bit more unconscious. Like big evidence of this is big physical things that have happened. So we're having either like surgeries or like I knocked myself out again, went into like massive concussion mode because I had to bring myself into the convergent timeline, which was so tough, and I'm still like working through it. Then also like I was talking about it before, kind of like phantom pain. So like if we're getting like nerve pains in our legs or nerve pains throughout our body, it's like we're integrating the different physical ailments that we might have been experiencing in a different timeline. Same with like old relationships. Not gonna lie, guys, old relationships will surface in our dreams, where we'll dream about that ex that we do not want to be with, but still holds that kind of space because that timeline was with that person, right? And all of a sudden we're converging and being like, oh, I feel like I can smell them. I feel like their energy is so close to me. It's because you are integrating that aspect of self. You don't have to bring that person back into your life, but you're integrating the lessons that that person endured in that timeline in order to bring, it's almost like you're sending off little version of yourself to gather up all life lessons and experiences so that you can bring it back, put it into the basket, and you can go forward in life with all the magic in your little magician bag. So if you've been pulling the magician, that's why that came up for somebody. Okay. So if this is like really like seems way out there to digest, I totally get it. And you don't necessarily have to like understand all the aspects of it, but just know that it's happening. And that you don't have to, like, again, an example is like, you don't go to the pilot of an airplane and be like, before I get on your plane, I need to know exactly, like, detail by detail how you fly this plane, or else I don't believe that you fly it. It's like, no, you don't have to understand the ins and outs and the intricacies of every detail unless you want to be a pilot. If you want to be a quantum physicist, then like go for it for sure. Like there's parts of it that I find fascinating to learn about, but I'm learning more about it by observing my timelines from being outside of my body in time and space more than a book. But like for you, if you want to learn more about it, ask your guides. Ask your guidance team to help you to understand what's going down so that it's easier for you to digest. Easily digestible. I'm getting. Hi, everyone. Sorry about this. This is such a random edit in here. What happened was my video stopped and I didn't realize it, and I just kept talking and talking, and I didn't want to post this video with such an abrupt stop in the message. I only obviously found out that it stopped later on in the night when I came back to edit it, and so here we are. Okay, so essentially the end of the message was just that. It was pulling together the ideas and concepts that we are on a trajectory forward where we're pulling in our experiences from alternate or different timelines that we've been living out in order to gain experiences that our higher self needed in order to move forward in our highest timeline, okay? So we are collecting, we are bringing in and converging all of our timelines into more of a compact sense. It's not that simple, but essentially that's the idea. So that we can have those experiences and we didn't have to do them all in the one trajectory forward, right? Because we don't live a linear life. We don't live a linear time experience. So if you want to know more about this concept and quantum leaping and timeline jumping, just, ask. I read all the comments and I will try to touch on as many as I possibly can and bring forward information that is digestible and that you're able to really understand, because I think it's really important. And I think it's important for our future to be able to understand these concepts so that we can play out our highest timeline and for our greatest good, And hey, if this doesn't align with you and you're like, no, it's just not, it's not landing, then that's totally fine. It's not for everyone. And 100%, if it's not for you, just leave it. And if you come back to it one day and you'll be like, I get it on a different level, then great. And if it's just not for you, then it's not for you. And that's okay too, because we're all here for different purposes and reasons and to resonate into different energies and frequencies. So I had to bring this forward from spirit because it was in me. It was in my timeline to bring forward for you, if that makes sense. So thank you very much for all your patience with all the crazy editing that I've had to do. It's not been great, and I've been trying to bring this message forward to try to continue these videos in a cohesive way for your greatest good, even if it's not in perfect circumstances. So in saying that, I'm sending you all very big hearts, lots of love, and I will see you on Saturday for Spirit Saturdays frequency healing, and Tuesday for Tarot Tuesday. All right, everyone, I love you so much. Take care.